Well, I've been asked to make a cribbage board. Didn't even know what one was, so I looked it up online, and it's pretty much shaped in an S sort of configuration, and there's 120 peg holes. And I need to make a piece of cherry fit into that piece of rosewood, so I'm making a template first. So we've got all of our lines cut except, oh, that one, I forgot. Okay, that one needs to go, and that one needs to go. Since the bearing is going to be following this as a template, I want to make sure that my surfaces are as perfect as possible. And our template is ready to go. And this is the piece I want. What I want is where the grain swirls like that, where the grain curls like that. That's where I want my turning point to be. So we're gonna go plane that baby down and give her a shape. So right now the template is screwed to the bottom side of the cherry, and I'm going to use, again, a router with a copy bearing to mimic that shape that we've got. Do or die. The outside I'm not worried about, it's the inside that makes me nervous. This here's the layout for the reverse mold, and where you see X is where you want to cut to its side of the line or less, and then sand to it. And it's those narrow tube keep pieces that are making me nervous. Oh, don't snap that. Okay, right on. This is garbage. That's what we want. Well, I didn't want to fasten this thing down with screws for obvious reasons. These things will tend to want to move. But what I did use was double-sided tape, and I stuck it down there. I can use this copy bit with the reverse bearing there, plunge it in this way, and use these as my guides to remove that material. And this is going to be quite a lengthy process, so I'll just give you a short little clip about how that works. So now we've gone down about 5 mil, and I need to go down more like 12 mil, but our basis is established, our boundaries are set up, and I could literally take that jig off and run the router on the actual material itself. But I won't do that. I don't want to put any stress on the material. So we'll just go deeper and deeper. In order to find my depth properly, I measured the thickness of the piece to be embedded, and I added the thickness of the template plus the thickness of the tape, and that came to 21.1 millimeters. And I've set the depth for a final pass, and I've got it. So this is just to give you an up-close view of the different steps. You can see there where I've gone through and gone down to my destination depth, and in the middle there I need to remove that material. I keep forgetting to buy myself a pair of leather gloves. I'm using this utility blade to separate the tape it took longer to make the mold than it took to make the thing. Right on. Right on. Minimal cleanup is necessary. Zero chip up. Get that clean and see how my piece fits. Pretty much everywhere fits perfectly except a tiny little hair. Clean that up and I'm sure it'll pop right in. Yeah, I can feel that's going to go right on. So the next thing to do is I've got to make 7 sections that are divided with 5 hole positions each. And the lady would like me to inlay a darker wood there, so I made this jig. Pink lines are where I want to notch, and that little window there allows me to see where they are. I want to get those inlays in before I inlay that S-shaped track thing into the destination piece. Now we got to make a relief for a drawer that's going to slide in. This is the underside of the piece. What we've got here is the bottom, and what we've got here is the underside of the piece. And when they get glued together like that, we're going to have ourselves a nice gaping slot through which we can push a drawer. And you'll notice too, I'll be removing even more from here, so that would make this end grain really weak this way. It would want a cup or bow, but we've sunk in 3/8 worth of, or say almost a centimeter worth of cherry in there, and that's where they keep score. And that the cross grain of that wood will stabilize the end grain of this wood. So now we're making a drawer to hold the deck of cards and those pegs, and you can see that I've got to plunge just a little bit deeper. I'll do that right now and call that done. Well, it turns out I started work too early this morning because I made the drawer too deep, so I had to cut it, and now we're going to sink it into a cherry drawer front. We've dadoed out the shape, and that'll glue right in and actually be stronger. It's the do or die moment. I don't know how long this is going to take, but make the plunge. The trick is to put your finger on the side of the receiving spin. That way it can't suck me in. If I went in from this way, boom, my finger would be gone. Or at least it would have a big gash in it. Down below here it's really thin, so I'd like to prevent any possibility of breaking it out by installing a foot there. And I'll do the same on the other side. This is Danish oil, and you can get that at B&Q, and it's a fail-proof sort of finish. Job done.